Paul Lil Sutton.
La Lil Sutton.
Welcome to... Ooh.
Whose pussy is this? Okay, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again.
What are we talking about today, Alish?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but...
Y'all need a thought phase.
You all need a thought phase. A coming of age is what we call it.
Yeah. With a U.
Coming.
Just to make that clear.
Cumming. C-U-M-M-I-N-G.
It's kind of like a phase that you go through where you disassociate sex and love together, and instead you're just fucking.
You're really just getting out there.
You're ducking.
You're fucking and ducking and you're fucking around.
I feel like it's something that always happens like after a heartbreak, or especially after like your first long relationship.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I know anyone who's just lived an entire life of only hoe phasing and having never been in love before.
I do.
Do you know people like that?
I know someone.
Oh. Do I know them?
Yeah.
It's not me, is it? No. Just kidding. Okay. Old mate. Look, I don't know. Anyway, can you tell me about your hoe phase or how it started?
My hoe phase started after my first relationship. So I was in a relationship for 4 years, and then we broke up, and he basically like went off at me for like having sex with someone like a month later, even though I was dating this person. To me, I was like a hoe and all this shit because I didn't give him enough time to grieve and move on from the relationship before I decided to have sex again, which is just bullshit.
I think that sometimes guys tend to be that way because, like, and I say this very generally speaking, but I also don't think that I'm wrong. Men who have been in relationships really need another woman around them.
Yeah.
And so if that can't be you, they get angry at you for moving on. You know how women always move on, takes them a little bit of time to get over the breakup, but they move on slower, but they still fuck around a bit. Whereas guys, they'll move on and get into another relationship straight away.
Yeah. It's because, yeah, we're emotional, but we'll fucking let ourselves grieve and we'll deal with our emotions, and that's why eventually we will move on quicker because we don't distract ourselves with something else. I mean, some of us do.
Or you kind of start that hoe phase, and that is your distraction until you find someone or meet someone else or whatever, and that's when you have a new relationship versus like a guy who will be distracted by a new relationship versus a whole lot of pussy.
And after I came out of this relationship, like I was pretty naive because he was like my first everything, and I had a really close friend that kind of put everything into perspective and was like, no, you're not in the wrong. Like, he fucked up the relationship. You don't owe him anything. And then she kind of got me into this whole feminist wave and like liberation and all that kind of thing. And that's when I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to do whatever I want. And I remember like my first one night stand. After that night, I was like, and I didn't feel anything and I didn't feel attached. And I just like, I didn't even want to see this guy again. And I was like, yep, I can fucking do it. And like, I just went on this rampage after that.
It's really funny, actually. Like, I think that when you sort of start your thought phase or your hoe phase, you don't necessarily even know that you're doing it, you know?
No.
Like, one of my friends, she said to me once, she was like, Alicia, I just don't know how you can just go out there and have sex with people. And I was like, honestly, as soon as you do it once, it's really not that bad. It's just sex. Like, people seem to put this really big stigma above sex, and it doesn't need to be that way. Like, it's...
No.
Really just sex.
It's physical, and like it's no different to like making out with someone. Yes, it's more intimate, but I got to a stage where I felt no different about someone I made out with than somebody I had sex with. It was just whatever. It was what it was.
It's just, yeah, it is for sure. But it's definitely usually followed from a heartbreak for sure.
Yeah. But there's like different types of casual sex. Like it's not just one night stands. You also have like Tinder hookups.
Yeah, like dating apps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I guess also your hoe phase tends to be when you sort of maybe like go through a lot of people at one time.
Yeah.
And it can last a little while. It could be like, I don't know, couple months, couple years.
Yeah. It's because at this point in time, you're not trying to be held down.
Well, I think it's a transitional period of your life, I think, when this happens. Usually, like, I don't know, mine was probably in my mid to late 20s, to be honest, because I was in relationships for so long. And then I was also one of those people who was really, like, scared about going out there and having a hoe phase.
I had that too, because I was in a relationship and I lost my virginity to this person. And so when I came out of the relationship, I was 22 and I missed my whole, like, adulthood of, like, going clubbing single. So I just basically had all this catching up to do.
Yeah.
I had all of these dicks that I hadn't sucked yet.
There's plenty of dicks in the sea. Yeah, no, like, I think for me as well, also when I was much younger, so, like, I'd only really been in relationships for so long, I also only associated sex and love.
Yeah.
So it took a really long time for me to realize that you don't need love to have sex.
Yeah.
And you don't actually need sex to be in love. But it sure as hell fucking helps.
I think the difference between love with sex and sex on its own is just basically the intimacy part.
Yeah. And it's the feeling, that
Yeah.
emotion that's attached to it.
And like the trust that you have with someone. Whereas in a hoe phase, which is where you kind of have to be careful, is that you don't really trust this person. Like, you don't know what this person's going to do, but at the same time, they don't know what you're going to do either. You could just fucking never call them again, and that's okay too. But you have to be a really strong person with a strong mindset to know that that's the game you're getting into.
Definitely. You've got to understand what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
Because I think we've talked about this a few times on our episodes, that people who sort of aren't really clear with their intentions end up getting really hurt because they haven't actually been really honest with themselves about what they're looking for in their casual relationships.
Yeah. Shan Boodoo always says this, is that sex between two people always has to have mutual intent.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Whether that's like a casual relationship or like a fuck buddy, but you still have trust and communication, or maybe you're both under the understanding that it's just a hookup, or maybe you're both under the understanding that you're the other woman. Like, it's, as long as the intention is mutual and on the same side for both parties, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, basically.
So have you had some Tinder hookups in your time? I feel like that's where most of my hookups came from when I was in my hoe phase.
I feel like Tinder really became a thing, for me anyway, once I was kind of almost when I was out of it, I think. And then I ended up having just Tinder bangs, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, yep, this is still the hoe phase. Still continuing, for sure.
The sequel.
Yeah, because I think whenever I've used dating apps, it's because I've genuinely wanted to actually meet someone. Until I downloaded... I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was Bumble. And I put in my bio something casual. Yeah. And that's when it was different. Because at that point I was like, I don't want anything else.
Yeah.
And so it worked for me then. But I think I never met up with someone on Tinder and slept with them the first time I met them.
I have many times.
Which is fine. I don't judge anyone for doing that. But I think... I was always really wary. Like, I grew up a few years before you, so internet strangers and whatnot was actually quite a big deal. Yeah. So I think for that I've always been really cautious of it. But in saying that, I've still fucked someone on the first time I've met them, and it's really no different to it being from Tinder or not.
Yeah.
Like, really, you're still putting yourself in the same position.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, the good thing about, like, maybe being on, like, a dating app or something, though, or if you meet someone out in the club or whatever, a lot of my hoe phase definitely started from when I was, like, really drunk or really wasted before doing it. Like,
I definitely had a few brothers that I took home from the club, that's for sure.
Like, I don't think I've had a real run at just full-on sober hookups. Like, I have a few times, but every time that's when I overthink it.
Yeah. I've had sober hookups and I've had drunk hookups. I've even had a guy from Tinder that took me to the Weekend concert the first time we hung out, and then we ended up fucking.
If he took you to the concert, it's like...
That's payment, man.
It is. It's payment.
That's
it's like
modern day prostitution.
That is like you're getting paid for that.
with music, with live music.
I mean, it was the weekend. I went to the weekend too.
Yeah. But in saying that, the thing about meeting people at the club and meeting people in person, yes, there's a pro that you don't know anything about them and that you can just see them for who they are. But there's also the con that you don't know anything about them, so you don't know if they have a wife and kids or a missus or whatever, which has happened to me.
Or an STD.
Or an STD, that's true.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I guess in that saying, dating apps kind of covers your boundaries a little bit more because you can really check out the background of a person if you maybe swap.
You have a little bit of dialogue. You can choose when you want to meet up with them. You don't have to meet up with them.
You can check all their pictures to make sure that it's fine.
You can make sure that he's at least 5'9".
At least. I mean, we're not going to date you, but still. Okay, but what other types of like casual sex would you have in your Hoe Phase though? So we've covered one night stands, we've covered dating apps.
Well, like if you're coming out of your relationship, like you're on the rebound, right? So
do you know how many times that like I have anyway, like when I've been seeing someone or broken up with a guy and then I've hooked up with someone afterwards and then they've been like, I don't want to be a rebound, and I'm like,
you're not. Low-key fucking my ex on the side.
Like, low-key, you're definitely a rebound, but no one's ever going to say that. Unless you literally just want to be really
I definitely
honest.
had a rebound after my first boyfriend, but like I had feelings for him, but I knew I didn't want to date him, so I was in a hardcore situationship. But I was just like not educated enough in relationships to really know what I was doing until now. I was definitely stringing this poor guy along.
Honestly,
but he was a hardcore rebound and the sex was lit because I had only had relationship sex up until this point. So this guy, because he had multiple sexual partners before me, he just introduced me to the world of just like choking and slapping and
honestly,
dirty talk.
I have to say there's definitely something to be said about a single guy that gets a lot of pussy because he really knows how to play that game.
He does.
A guy with relationship dick tends to take a lot more warming up.
Yeah.
And like if you hook up with them just one time, usually after that you're like, never again.
Yeah, but there is something to be said about guys who hook up a lot but don't know how to get girls to come back and maintain them. That just says that...
I don't think they want to. For them, it's a numbers game. It's a body count.
I think it's okay if they're fucking heaps of girls and choosing to fuck heaps of girls, but the problem is if they're not coming back to them and like the option, they just don't have the option to fuck someone again because the girls thought that the sex was so shit that they don't want to hit the dude up again. Okay, whereas if the dick is really good, then he's got lots of pussy on his line. He's got options. I get. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, for sure. I mean, like, I think during my thot phase, I had like one kind of quite regular dude who was probably also fucking heaps of other girls, which is not really my favorite thing to be doing. But the dick was so good. But I knew that he'd never had a girlfriend or hadn't had one in ages or like years or whatever. But it was still like, it was fun. And also there was no way that we could get attached to each other too, which I think just made it more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just like when you're in that hoe phase, and especially if you're only just been in a couple of relationships, you just want to like taste the rainbow. You just want to fuck around and you just want to like try as many different types of dudes as you can because you just, I don't know, you've been in this like little nutshell.
I think you definitely start to become a little bit more experimental in this part of your life. Whether you maybe did it in the past with, I don't know, some of your ex-partners, your ex-boyfriends or whatever.
Yeah.
For me, sure. In some of my ex-relationships, we got a little bit freaky. Curious about things, you know?
Yeah.
Like butt stuff.
What was like the freakiest thing you did in your thought phase?
I had a foursome.
That's pretty lit. I've never had sex with more than one person.
I also had a threesome. I think I've told you the story and they stole my knickers.
Yes. Was this this was with an existing couple?
They were a couple. And it was very fun. And then the next day they woke up and they left like before I did because we were at like a hotel. And then I pretended to be asleep because I was like, I don't want to have to like chat with them, you know. So I was kind of like lying there like that. And the girl kissed me goodbye, which I thought was really weird, like because I was asleep. But I was like, I'm just gonna sleep for a second.
But also, it's like
it's quite an intimate
thing to
romantic.
Do. It's
like,
a real like, see you, babe.
Yeah,
but it's not like your partners, and especially because I know you're mostly straight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very weird. But then anyway, so after they left, I waited like maybe like 10 minutes and then I was like, fuck this, I've got to get out. And I got up and I was like searching for my thong and I couldn't find it.
Lovely.
They stole it. And then so then I had to get dressed anyway. And I like cruised down to the lobby and like last night's clothes, last night's makeup, looking stunning, fresh as a daisy. And they were in the lobby waiting for their Uber. Yeah. And I was like, but also I was really annoyed because they knew that I didn't have any underwear on. Yeah. Because they stole it.
Yeah.
So that was embarrassing.
They would have loved that.
I thought about asking for it, but I was like, nah, I just waited for my Uber and then I gapped it.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
I don't think I did really crazy stuff when I was in my thought phase because I feel like all the people that I've been experimental with are people who have been friends with benefits and have had that like trust there and that also lots of playtime to like build up to us pushing each other's boundaries.
I think also when you have like your thought phase and you become quite curious and experimental with people, you can because there's like a level of vulnerability that you have with that person that you can share. Yeah. But it isn't gonna go anywhere and you're both kind of just on the same page.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's more dialogue between you, and I just feel like anal's not something you can just do on the first time you meet someone. It has to be.
No, it depends on dick size. I think entirely also like
and how lubricated I am, and also how much like alcohol I've had, and like
whether or not you've had a shit that day.
Lots of factors.
There are things that have to be considered. They have to be considered. No, but like I had one guy that I was just like casually seeing and he was like, oh, can I put it in your ass? And I was like, there's no fucking way you're putting that in my ass. It is way too big. I will break in half and bleed.
I've had a big one at my butt. But no pun intended. But I was well prepped. Like, you've got to do the finger thing. You've got to make sure that's really nice and wet down there. Start with one finger, then two, and then just do the tip, and then do the whole thing.
And start slow.
Start very slow. And rub my clit while you do it.
Yes. Maybe a finger inside you as well.
Okay, I'm getting horny. Stop.
Okay, cool. So,
do you care about like how many girls a guy has slept with?
No.
I don't, as long as they're clean.
I don't care how many people anyone has slept with, as long as they are not sleeping with anyone else while we're sleeping together. Yeah. That's like a big thing for me. I just think that's not safe. The whole like double dipping thing. Like, I know that I'm clean, and I presume that he is too, because I wouldn't be having sex with him otherwise. Yeah. But I don't know who else he's dipping his dick into.
Especially if you know that you guys are at least fucking once a week, you know that they're not... High chances they don't really have the energy for anybody else. If you guys are already fucking once a week, he doesn't have to look for extra pussy.
You definitely don't need extra pussy if you're fucking me once a week.
The only time, if I had a fuck buddy, that I would fuck someone else is... out of just spontaneity. Like, I wouldn't go searching for another dick. It would just be like, oh, I randomly met this guy and like...
Yeah. Well, like, no, you're not... I don't think they usually have more than one fuck buddy at a time. I mean, you might. I don't have time for one half the time, to be honest. So, like, 2 or 3 would be really hard work. But no, I don't think numbers really matter. I don't think they matter in relationships either. Like, I'm not bothered.
If anything, it's the opposite. Like, I would care if you've only slept with, like, 2 people.
Yeah, what the fuck have you been doing?
What the fuck have you been doing?
Wanking.
Put your dick in some pussy.
Yeah, maybe just if they weren't and they had too little experience.
No, but, like, even if you had only been in... if you've only had sex in relationships, that would also worry me too.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't really care because I've actually lost count of how many people I've had sex with. I used to know, but then I decided to stop counting because I figured it didn't really matter.
I haven't... I've kind of lost count, but, like, I also know, like, a round estimate.
I've got a rough idea.
Really rough.
It's very rough.
Rough 3-digit idea.
It's not that high. It's not that high, but it's, yeah, no, I've got a rough idea, but I don't know exactly. But I think it doesn't, personally, I don't think it matters. Like, I know that it can come up in conversation with potential partners or potential lovers, like someone that you might actually start dating. But I think if I don't care, then you shouldn't care. And if you care, well, then we're not fucking.
I also feel like when you're fucking heaps of random people, you end up just like coming across some really random stuff because you're just encountering more people, right?
Yeah.
Have you had like any weird requests or like weird things that someone has done that's just quite unique to that person?
Yeah, actually. There was this one guy who had this real thing with me, like touching his nipples. He really wanted me to play with his nipples and pinch them when I was like riding him. And
I can relate to that. But
honestly, suck on my titties.
Honestly.
But like, yeah, I don't.
I've never had a guy love nipple play that much.
It was only one. I can't really think of anything else. One guy asked me to lick his butthole.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
And I was like, kind of like...
Have you ever given a rim job? I was like, for fuck, don't say that while I'm licking your balls.
I'm close. I'm in proximity.
I understand. It probably is the right time to ask.
Logistically, makes sense.
But are we on that level? Nah.
No.
That was the same guy that said holy hecker while I was sucking his dick.
Holy hecker.
Don't say holy hecker.
I think I know. Spat it out.
I know I suck dick good, but don't say holy hecker because I'm just going to joke on it.
You could just say holy. Holy's fine.
Just moan. Just moan and come.
Just enjoy it, actually. Keep your mouth.
I'm actually bored. Finish already. But I feel like you only start having consistent sexual partners once you've kind of gotten past that and you realize that sex is a energy exchange and the one-offs and the one-night stands kind of get draining after a while.
They definitely do. Like, I mean, I don't think that at any point in my Hoe Phase I was going out actively seeking to, like, take someone home that night. No. Like, if it happened, and that was great.
It's spontaneous, for sure.
But I know that lots of people do go out searching for that. That wasn't really even my, like, motive. But, yeah, I think once you start to learn how it makes you feel afterwards as well.
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes you don't even know because you're sleeping around or you're doing these things and it's pretty numbing that you don't really think about it too much because you don't deal with all the emotions that come with it. And, like, yeah, casual sex is really fun and so is, like, one night stand every now and then is actually exciting because, like, why not? Like, live your life.
It's fun.
If you're traveling...
Makes you feel young again.
Yeah, like, if you're traveling and you're overseas and you meet someone who's hot, like, fucking do it.
Well, sometimes it's just, like, this random artist that's in town and you just want to say that I fucked that person.
Or that too. Or at least passion in the club.
Literally your last chance.
No, there's been more than one. Clout.
When I think about, like, the last one night stand I had after my thot phase was the guy that I found out had, like, a wife and kids. And that's what made me just, like, completely not trust guys in that way. I'm like, I can't believe you would get me involved in your shit. Don't get me involved in your drama. If you're going to cheat on your missus, at least be honest about it because there's going to be girls that don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, at least, like, lay the ground rules. Like, you know the prerequisite. By the way, I've got a wife and kids. This isn't going anywhere. If you want to continue, cool.
Yeah.
This is it. But if not, peace, because he'll probably go fuck someone else anyway.
Exactly. Because I had the dilemma of, like, do I tell her? Do I message her?
I always feel like, in that instance, unless you actually know her, I reckon always stay out of it.
Yeah, I definitely decided to stay out of it. But there was this time where...
In fact, even if you do know her, it seems...
True. I had him on Snapchat and nothing else. And I was once out to dinner with my family. Anyway, I was trying to figure out what his deal was. I was like, why does he only have me on Snapchat? Yeah. I didn't even remember what his name was because he had some like fake name. You know what his name was on Snapchat? Wayne.
Oh my God. You know, Dave, who was on our podcast?
Yeah.
He likes to be called Wayne.
For fuck's sake.
It's not the same person.
Not the same person. I've definitely not fucked
They
Dave.
all call him that, Wayne, because he's Samoan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it with the oos. I know.
Anyway, so Is
his name Wayne?
No, his name was something else. I actually don't even remember his name anymore. Anyways, I was like, what's this guy's deal? So I, stalked him, as you do. And I put his Snapchat name into Google, and then his Instagram name came up because he has his Snapchat in his Instagram bio. Rookie! Rookie mistake. Anyway, so found his Instagram, had a whole family, a whole
ass family,
a whole 3 children.
A whole 3?
A whole 3 children.
That's a lot.
That's a car. That's a full car.
That's a full Batmobile.
Yeah.
Wayne.
Anyway, so he replies to one of these stories, and I'm out to dinner with my family, and he goes, cute family, and I just replied, not as cute as yours.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And then he was like, haha, what? And then I just didn't reply, and then I just went on his Instagram, and I liked all the photos of him and his wife. And he blocked me.
And that's the last time he got his dick wet by you.
That's the last time I slept with a stranger from the club.
Honestly, men can be such trash. I'm sure there's women out there who are like that though.
Oh, 100%. It's on both parties.
Yeah.
I feel like it's different when you're a mother and you have kids to tend to. You're not less likely to go fucking around on the town and leave your kids. Who knows? Anyway.
I am not a mother, so I can't comment. But I mean, I guess...
Well, how did your Hoe Phase end?
Did it end? I think what basically for me, like I didn't really have like a certain person or like a guy do something that I was like, ugh, about. But I think I just got to a point where my Hoe Phase was really aligned with like a really party kind of fucked phase of my life where I just was really lost and didn't really know what I was doing or where I was going. And so for me, I actually just decided to stop all of the shit that was making me really unhealthy. And so like I decided that I didn't want to like just sleep around anymore. I stopped going out drinking and doing drugs. Like I just started to make way better choices for myself because I felt that all of these things that aligned were really not good for my mental health as well. And so for me, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I put myself first. And so that's what I started to do. And that's when I started my whole like self-love journey. And then like for sure, since finishing up with my little Hoe Phase or thot phase, I still like have had casual encounters, but I've been a little bit more picky about who those people are. But I've still also fucked some absolute duds.
Same. That was kind of the same as me because I had all this catching up to do from missing that whole part of my life that I was getting drunk probably twice a week to the point of being like fucked. I was just like making a lot of money at this point as well because I had 2 jobs and I was working like 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of money. I was spending it all going out on town. I also knew the club owner, so he would always take care of me when I went out.
Yeah. Oh, same. I used to know all the bouncers like by name.
And I would literally like...
Now I know no one.
I would literally drink to the point where like I would make myself throw up by the end of the night so that I could go to work the next morning. And to the same point where like I think at this point I was smoking a lot as well just because...
Well, when you get drunk, you smoke. Like it's a thing that kind of goes hand in hand. When you're at parties, people do it and you join them.
Yeah, I was just literally treating my body like trash.
Yeah. And
the same thing, I just kind of just was like, okay, this is getting out of hand. And I just literally banned myself for a month. And I forced myself, I was like, okay, from this date to this date, I'm not doing anything. I'm staying inside. I'm not drinking, I'm not fucking anybody. And yeah, I think it just slowly phased out after that.
Yeah, I think tends to be, from what I know of a thought phase, you tend to have, it does have a naturally occurring expiry date. Like, you might have the same realization that we did, where you kind of just realize the things that you're doing to your body and to yourself and to your mental health is not good for you, and then you want to make a change. And like, it's actually really hard as well, because when you do that, your friends are like, where are you? Where have you been? I haven't seen you in ages. And like, it sucks. You get a little bit of FOMO and you really want to be there, but making a better choice for you always, I just think, is so much better.
Yeah. And if you think about like what we said at the beginning, your hoe phase, thot phase, whatever you want to call it, comes from a heartbreak or some kind of like previous emotional state. So when you come out of this phase, you realize you haven't dealt with all that pain yet. And then this is a time where you actually have to just like, you know, grieve and like go through it. It's like rehab. Exactly. It's like going through withdrawals and just having to face your emotions head on, sober.
Yeah, you've got to be sober, because like, I mean, you want to like, you have a realization that you're filling this void, whether it be like through drugs and alcohol or partying or sex or one night stands or all of those things all together. And then I guess being able to like see that cycle is really important too. Yeah. Like, once you kind of make the realization as well, you're like, fuck, what the fuck was I doing? What am I thinking? And like, I don't know, you might even meet someone and have a consistent sexual partner, or you might actually meet someone and want to date them. That's what's going to kind of expire this phase of your life. Yeah. You learn, like we said before, about sex being energy exchange, and how literally sometimes you do have sex with people that just don't make you feel great afterwards, and some that you do. Yeah.
And I think as you get older, especially if you know, yes, you're trying to focus on your career, but you're still not ready for a relationship, I think that's when friends with benefits and fuck buddies kind of come into play, rather than this whole thot phase, because it's just a little bit more stable. You don't have the finances, the energy to get fucked every weekend and meet someone new. Having a friends with benefit is a lot more stable if you want to be single but still have sex.
Exactly, because that's also, you have matured in the way that how you deal with your relationships with other people, and you can be way more open and honest about it.
Yeah.
So like, when I downloaded Bumble and I put casual only, it meant that I already ruled out all those people who were actually trying to date me, versus also the really creepy ones who are only trying to fuck. But then you just weed through them and you find what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you've got that mutual understanding constantly,
yeah,
then you're good.
Yes. But I think, like, when you kind of go through this, or if you're going to go through this, really think about whether you have the capacity to handle just randomly fucking someone.
Yeah. Well, you've got to, I think, recognize where sex has a place in your life.
Yeah.
So also having a fuck buddy doesn't mean that you have to have sex with them once a week or twice a week or every night or once a month or whatever. Like, you could have someone that you could just regularly be able to message and be like, hi, are you free tonight? And that's fine as well. Otherwise, masturbate.
Yes. And if anyone wants to sponsor us and give us some new vibrators, I'm down.
We're keen. We're looking. We're searching. We're on the market. So I think to conclude this,
it's a necessary phase in your life, but it has a time and place.
Yeah, just as long as you know there's an expiry date.
As long as you know there's expiry date. As long as you start to learn, it's like you're a teenager and you're adolescent and you're going through this phase and you're understanding where sex has a place in your life, and you're also understanding what you like in sex, what your boundaries are. Are you really this kinky? Do you like really intimate sex? And it's like you're trying everything and you're taking all these risks, and then you kind of come back to this stable position again after you've done all that, and you're like, okay, I like this, and I'm only going to have this.
Yeah, that works. Perfect. That's exactly it. And then if you also make sure that you're really self-aware of what you're doing. Yeah. And it's okay if you're not. Like,
it takes time.
This is the kind of time where it's okay to experiment and do those things and have some like highs and lows, but just, try and choose some partners wisely, because we don't want anyone to be like hurting.
No.
So to finish off this episode though, we thought we'd play a little game of Never Have I Ever. And I don't know if you can see, but we've got some tequila,
some drinks,
some
shorts. Never Have I Ever Hoe edition.
Tell us how you really feel.
Cheers. Oh,
I went there.
right. She's standing hard. Let me get these questions.
Let me get this tequila.
Tequila?
What do you want to do? Fuck, that would have been real loud and annoying on there. Sorry. This is a mad shot glass. I'm just going to do a little half poury.
Yeah.
Oh. That takes me back to the day that I was real hungover and we did this.
Oh, yeah.
With Dave.
Yeah.
I already feel sick. I also know that I'm going to get really fucked up because I'm a hoe. It's a hoe's life.
That's okay. You go.
Okay. I mean...
Okay, let's just do first couple. Let's just do the first 5 questions. Oh, no. First 4.
Yeah.
Maybe first 3. How slutty are we?
Okay, let's go with the first 3. And then if they're shit, we'll go into the next.
First 3 questions. If you have to drink, you have to take a shot. And after that, we can sip.
Okay, well, let me make another drink. My bottle's going to be like empty soon. Do I have enough kombucha? I guess we'll find out.
Stunning.
Okay. Look, we're not doing it by halves. Okay. Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Never have I ever fucked a guy and sent him home because I'd invited someone else over for sex too.
You know I'm going to drink to this one.
That's the first question.
I'm busy.
Oh, you gotta go, honey.
I got the appointment.
Another one.
dick.
So we could tell stories that we want. We'll just go straight bang, 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 bang. Okay.
Well, that's what I did. Bang, bang. That's the story.
That is. Bang, bang. And then bang, 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 bang.
And then see ya.
And then bye.
Okay. Next question. Am I
Yeah,
asking?
your turn. Yeah.
Never have I ever fucked a guy's best friend because he ghosted me. I want context.
I did it. I've done it. I've done that. I don't think there needs to be context. He ghosted me, so I hit up his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you fuck with me. She's growing now.
Is she? I'd do it again.
No, now I'm fucking your dad if you fuck me over.
Thanks.
I'm old.
Fuck, it lingers.
I just kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit. It's nice.
Your turn.
Never have I ever made a sex tape.
I filmed myself having sex. I was like, yeah, I have. Okay.
That's a sex tape. I've done that too. I think I've still got it.
Nothing beats porn that you star in. I'm just going to say it.
You reckon?
Yeah. Porn is great. But if you're in it and it's your pussy getting fucked, 10 times better.
It's good, but it's also very awkward to watch again.
I don't want my face in it. Just my pussy.
Oh, so just like a close-up.
Like a little POV.
Like a POV, yeah, POV.
A POV.
POV, I was going to say point of view. Would you like to take
view.
the first shot?
Pour it up, sis.
Wait, I thought we were going to do the first 3 and then... Fuck it, I've lost it.
The first 3 questions, if you say yes, you get the shot. This is the 3rd question. And then from here, we'll just drink.
Okay.
Because
After you.
That's a fucking fat one.
Ladies first.
Thank you. I'm a lady. You a hoe.
We already know.
My stomach is already burning.
My throat is. Excuse the noise that our housemates are doing. We did mention that we were doing this.
Ah!
Okay, well, we've actually only got enough lemon left for 2 more shots, which I feel like we should just do.
We'll do them later.
But not now. Ah!
Okay. What's that called? Fire round. Spit them out.
Okay. Never have I ever had sex and literally can't remember it.
I've never blacked out in my life.
So many times. So many times. Oh, that's strong. Like, literally, just don't remember. I don't even know what the dick's like.
Well, at least if it was shit, at least you don't have the memory.
I know, it's good, but then it's quite funny because those guys have actually hit me up again and they're like, hey, remember your pussy? And I'm like, of course you do. But I don't know.
Your dick? Forgettable.
Honestly, I don't remember. All I know is that one of them bit my lips so hard it was fat for a week.
I once had a guy suck my lip so hard, my lip piercing, which I had a little Brett, he sucked it all the way out of the hole.
That is disgusting. Never have I ever said I love you first. That's a bit cute.
Absolutely not. Actually, no, I have. Fuck.
I haven't.
He technically did say it first. No, he said it first.
I've had 2 guys...
This is no alcohol.
She needs a break. I've had 2 guys tell me that they love me on Valentine's Day. And once where they were inside me and I was just like, oh, fuck. It's not like that.
Mm-mm.
Never have I ever sent nudes to the wrong person by accident.
No.
Nah, I haven't done that either.
I'm careful. She's a careful gal.
She's a careful gal. I'm very careful. In fact, if you get a nude from me, you're a very lucky man.
Fucking enjoy that surprise.
You're a lucky guy. A lucky guy. Okay. Never have I ever faked an orgasm. I actually don't believe in doing that.
If I had to have a shot for every time I faked an orgasm, I'd need my stomach pumped.
Wow. I don't do it. I honestly don't. I feel like, everyone knows this, I feel like I will never let a man think that he's made me come when he hasn't. Because you've got to work.
I admire that. Never have I ever used a butt plug.
Not an actual butt plug, but I've just had my
finger?
butt plugged. Does it count if it's like not an actual one?
Never have I ever made out with someone of the same sex.
I've done that so many times.
I've never made out with a girl.
Do you want to? That's amazing. Never have I ever had sex with anyone that was related to each other. Like brothers or cousins.
No.
I really don't think I have.
I don't know.
What about we put out a thing on the podcast, like the IG, a couple of days ago, and someone said that she had a threesome with twin brothers, identical.
That's weird.
That's wild. If they were really fine, how fucking amazing would that be?
I just want to know if there's 2 guys there, not related, preferably not related. That
Definitely not related.
Good looking, above 5'9". My skin colour or darker.
Not to be specific.
Not to be specific, but if you're down for a threesome with me, DM me.
DM us though. No.
I think that's the end of that podcast.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for listening, fam.
Thanks. Let's go drink downstairs now. That's it for this episode, fam. Thanks for listening.
If you have any questions, topics, or suggestions, you can DM us on Instagram. The link is in our bio.
And don't forget, whose pussy is this?
It's yours.
Deuces.
Bye.